Hello people, Kerr recently held a press conference to address the issue surrounding the Supreme Court decision on President Trump's executive order on the travel ban. Some people want to call it Muslim ban. And Nihad Awad, the executive director, gave his take on the issue. Let's hear him.
To offer a reaction to the decision by the Supreme Court that was issued yesterday. As you know, yesterday and today are the last 2 days of the Muslim holiday of Eid al-Fitr after Ramadan. So we were at the holiday when we heard the news about this decision. This decision, in our views, has like 3 parts. Number one, we believe that it is a partial victory for the advocates for justice and civil rights and for refugees in this country, because the total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States announced by presidential candidate Trump has failed.
Now, did you hear this deceitful man? He just mentioned a part of what then candidate Trump said. He said complete and total shutdown, and he ended it there to make it look like this is the end goal of Donald Trump. Complete and total shutdown. And he deliberately refused to acknowledge or mention the other part of it, which is as much important, if not more important, than the first part of it. Now, he said, Donald Trump said, until our country representative can figure out what the hell is going on. Now, Kerr Nihad Awad just wants to make it look like there is nothing going on. He wants to pretend that there is nothing going on. And he does not. Why doesn't he allow President Trump the time to figure out what the hell is going on? He doesn't even want Trump or anybody to figure out what the hell is going on, because he doesn't want to be exposed. So he is taking it on he's taking his fight to President Trump on the first part of the quotation, of the quote. Complete and total shutdown. What about the other part? Until we figure out what the hell is going on. Don't take him out of context, Mr. Awad. Take him in full context. The context is complete and total shutdown until his representative can figure out what the hell is going on. Why not give him the time to figure out what the hell is going on before complaining and taking lawsuits? You don't want to give him the time to figure out what the hell is going on because you don't want to be exposed. Kerr wants to pretend as if he has victory. Deception. They deceive people, deceiving themselves first and then deceiving people. So, he claims this is a partial victory. How is it victory to him? And now, it is not victory to Kerr, because President Trump does not need this watered down template. President Trump is in charge of the United States of America. He's in charge of the immigration. He's in charge of the Secretary of State. And the Secretary of State is in charge of all the embassies and their ambassadors. So, if the Secretary of State receives order from Donald Trump, the president, saying, we do not want you to allow anybody to come into the United States from any of these countries, not just the 6 countries that are mentioned. If he says, we do not want anybody to come into the United States from any of these Muslim majority countries, or majority Muslim countries, the Secretary of State will give the order to the ambassadors, and the ambassadors will pass the order to the visa officers. The United States does not have visa waiver program for any of these Arab countries or Muslim countries. They don't have. So which means even if this executive order is not even announced, Trump can just tell his Secretary of State to tell the ambassadors, to tell the visa officers to deny visa to everybody coming from the Arab or Muslim world. How about that? How about that? So how is that victory? You are, look, just like you are using ISIS to deceive the world, you are using ISIS as the scapegoat while you advance your agenda, which is the same agenda with ISIS. But you are doing it in a safe way. You are cunningly doing it. You are fighting for the same goal with ISIS, okay? Just like you are using ISIS to draw attention away from yourself, to distract attention from yourself, Trump is also using this executive order and this document that you can see with these 6 majority Muslim countries to draw attention away from the real thing that he's doing. You know what Trump is doing? I believe that nobody is getting visa from all these countries. I believe he has passed the order without making it executive, without making it a public spectacle. The embassies are subject to the Secretary of State, who is under President Trump. So, without visa, they can't come in. They can't even get the visas. You need visa to fly. The airline will not even take passengers from these countries. We know that. The airlines would not even take the passengers because, first of all, they need visa. And so, you have to first of all consider how to get a visa before considering how to get into the United States. So, you are talking about getting to the United States, saying that it's a partial victory, that these people who have bona fide relationship, or who are there to study, people who want to study, or people who want to attend for whatever reason to come into the United States, that they can come. They cannot come because they need visa. How can they get a visa? It is not like they are having European passport that they can fly to the United States. No, they need visa. So how is that victory? Like I told you, Trump does not need this watered down executive order. He is just fighting for it because he knows that this is his right. Let me give you a scenario. Most of you watching this video can do away with $1 without having any problem. Okay, now let's say $1 which belongs to you. Somebody wants to take it from you because he thinks he's stronger, or he thinks he can bully you to squeeze your hand, turn it backward and take the $1 from you. I believe you will fight him, even if that means punching the person with your other hand. So this is what is going on. Trump knows that this executive order belongs to him, and there are people like Kerr who want to fight him to take away his $1 executive order. He will fight for it. He doesn't need it. You don't need that $1. But you will fight for it because you don't like the way this man is taking it from you. This is what Trump is fighting for. He does not need that part of executive order. He can do it without executive order. These people need visa to come in, and they will not get a visa.
The Supreme Court has struck down the majority of the main points in this decision. Now the Supreme Court is saying that the majority of people who seek entry to the United States to seek a job or to study in the US or to visit a relative, they are allowed to come to the United States.
Did you hear that? How are they allowed to come to the United States? Don't they need visa? Who will give them a visa in the first place? Can they just fly to the United States as if they are maybe just, or maybe riding their bicycle to come to the United States? How? What is he talking about? That they are allowed to come to the United States. They are not allowed to come to the United States because they need visa to come to the United States, and the visa will never be issued to them. So stop this deception saying that it's a partial victory. You have lost, and admit it. You have lost. You have been knocked out. KO. Or maybe TKO.
Why? Because the total and complete shutdown intent behind this is inherently unconstitutional.
Yes, it is unconstitutional to deny people entry into the United States based on what they believe in, or based on how they pray, or based on what they worship, or based on the deities that they call God, or based on the name that they call God. This would be unconstitutional. But it is not unconstitutional to ban people from entering into the United States based on the threat that they pose, based on experiences, based on reality, based on terrorism, based on the proneness to attack and kill people, based on the ideology that does not match or fit into the American style, based on the problem they are bringing with them. You cannot say it is unconstitutional to bring people who are going to affect other people, maybe somebody with deadly diseases. Look, I am not against whatever somebody believes in or whatever somebody decides to worship. But if what you believe in makes you want to become somebody who is willing to kill others who do not believe in the same thing with you, then it is not unconstitutional to ban such people from coming in. This is what we are looking at. I don't think President Trump has problem with whatever somebody decides to worship. He does not have problem with the Hindus. He does not have problem with the Buddhists. He does not have problem with the Hare Krishnas. He does not have problem with the pagans. He does not have problem with the atheists. He does not have problem with Muslims. He has problem with the element among you people. He has problem with the doctrines. That inspire to kill other people who who are considered unworthy to live because of doctrines.
However, we also are concerned about the decision because it ignored the bigotry that is at the heart of the travel ban executive order. And this will embolden the Islamophobes in his administration to expand efforts to target American Muslims and also with unconstitutional and productive policies. We Muslims who are coming to the United States complain that they have been aggressively questioned about their faith, and also American Muslims who are coming back to the US are questioned about their faith.
Why are they being questioned about their faith? Is it because the US immigration officers are zealots? Is it because they are religion zealots? Is it that? They are religious fanatics? No. Let me correct you. They are not being questioned about their faith. I was not there, I am not there. But I know that they are not being questioned about their faith. But rather, they are questioned about the ideology that inspire people to kill. I don't think the US immigration officers are so religious that they don't want anybody belonging to your faith to come in. And is there a reason why the immigration officers should be concerned about people of a certain faith coming into the country? Is it because of what they believe in, or because of what they are doing? It is simply because of what many are doing in the name of the religion.
And for us, reinstating any part of this administration's patently discriminatory and openly discriminatory Muslim ban not only runs contrary to the values of the United States, but it also runs contrary to the nation of immigrants, just like my parents came to this country more than 45 years ago.
Indeed, this is how the problem started. It started when people like your grandparents brought in their segregating ideology into the United States. How often do we hear people like you saying that this is a nation built up of immigrants? Yes, it is built up of immigrants. But what kind of immigrants are they? Immigrants like your forefathers? Immigrants like the ones that are trying to flock into the United States now? Immigrants like the ones that are killing Europe? Immigrants like the ones that are bringing in ideologies which are not compatible with Western civilizations? Are these the kind of immigrants that built up the United States? When we talk about immigrants that built up the United States, we are talking about immigrants that have similar values, similar ideas of how to coexist together. Not immigrants that believe that women and men should not sit together. There are different bosses for women and bosses for men. Not immigrants that believe that a man has the right to marry 4 wives. Not immigrants that believe that a husband can legally beat his wife. Not immigrants that believe that the hands of a thief should be chopped off. Not immigrants that believe that unbelievers should be beheaded. Not immigrants that believe that somebody who drinks alcohol should be flogged. Not immigrants that believe that a woman that commits adultery should be stoned to death. Not immigrants that believe that everybody must convert to their own ideology or be killed. Not this kind of immigrants. Not the kind of immigrants who believe that anybody who changes his mind about the ideology or religion should be killed. Not the kind of immigrants who believe that a woman must dress according to special code. Otherwise, the woman is good to be killed in honor of the family. And not the kind of immigrants who believe that it is okay for their men to marry Western women and thereby cutting off their source of production by taking away their women and reducing the population of the Western world. And the same immigrants believe that it is abomination for their women to marry a Western man. For their women to marry Western men. So this is it. This is not the kind of immigrants that made up the United States. Not the kind of immigrants who believe that their constitution is superior to the constitution of the country that they are going to live in. Not this kind of immigrants. Not this kind of immigrants that make up the United States. Now, the kind of immigrants that are flocking into the West right now, that are causing this carnage and havoc everywhere in Europe and in the West, are not the kind of immigrants that make up the United States. Like I said initially, I don't have problem with whatever somebody worships. You don't know what I worship or who I worship. So, I don't have problem with whatever somebody worships. But if what that person is worshiping is making the person to want to kill me or kill other people, that's a problem. Look, the time that you guys are spending fighting Donald Trump, the efforts, the money you have spent, the logistic effort you put into this, you travel the whole places, you go to different offices, is to say, let them come in, and you are not even, look at, of all the things you just said, all the things in the press conference, there is not even a single mention of the reason that Donald Trump is doing what he's doing. You want to blame, put it that he's against religion. When Donald Trump does something, you say that he is against the religion. But when people do something in the name of that religion, you say, no, it is not about the religion. Can you see the double standard? I will repeat. If Donald Trump does something like this travel ban, you call it Muslim ban because of their faith. But when somebody does something because of this very faith, you say, no, it has nothing to do with the faith. Nonsense. I am angry now. Nonsense.
Oh,